Welcome back again in our continuing series here on our videos. Tonight we're going to do the trencher. It's a 6-inch trencher. Now what we mean by that is a 6-inch wide trench, and this will go up to 3 feet deep and anywhere in between, of course. So this one you would use if you're putting in a weeping tile, some heavier, maybe 4-inch pipe, 2-inch pipe, running some ductwork, running maybe a heavy cable line for power. And of course you can run gas lines or anything that only has to be 2 feet down or 18 to 24 inches since it goes 3 feet. But this machine is a lot more powerful than the smaller 4-inch machine. It's on tracks, and it gives it a lot more weight, and it gives it a lighter footprint than the tires do. You can get away with sometimes it being a little more moist because you do have the tracks. But again, I always advocate that trenching should be done when it's dry, or maybe just after springtime, early fall, but you don't want to be doing it, certainly not in frozen ground or anything, but when it's the ground is firm, and obviously your tracks can't spin or anything as you would be in mud, and you always trench at full speed so your engine doesn't labor. So those are the things you want to be aware of when you are trenching. Not too fast. Take your time, take it easy, and then you have a good, successful experience when you're doing trenching. Now, in this particular machine, this is electric start, so it's a little easier to start. But the same concept as your little 4-inch machine. We're going to go up, drive the machine. I'll start it, you'll see, but we'll drive it up to where you're going to trench. You may have a hole at that end where the end of the boom is. You're going to start your machine. You're going to go down into the cut to the depth you want, and then you're going to start coming backwards in this direction. You never trench forward. If you trench forward, you can roll the chain off, and that involves a service call to get it put back on again. So make sure you don't trench forward. Don't try and reach under things and trench. Get your shovel out and do it that way. You're not going to be successful when you start trying to trench forward with this machine. Now, once you go down to the full depth and you come back on your trenching, you don't go back over and trench again. On any of the trenching, it's a one-shot deal. You don't go beside it to make it wider. If you need bigger trenches, then go to maybe an excavator with a 10-inch, 12-inch buckets, and then you can do it. And those are the machines to go to in early spring when it's very muddy, soft. You'd be more successful with a mini excavator than you would be with trenching in the very wet time of the year. And particularly people who want to put weeping tile in, I know you want to put it in when it's wet because that's the reason you want to put it in, but you've got to wait for it to dry out. You can't get out there with trenchers and start going through your ponds of water because you want to put your weeping tile in. So this particular unit runs on regular fuel, and I'll start it up and we'll go through the progression of how to use it. But just before the engine gets going, and you possibly can't hear as well, this is the dead man switch. Nothing works unless this is up. If you let this go, you panic or anything, that machine will stop doing its functions, but the engine will keep running. And some of the other types of machines, everything stops. You got to restart the engine. But in this particular case, it'll keep running. When you are trenching, of course, the auger on the side, your dirt will pile up on the left-hand side, so that afterwards when you put your pipe in or your weeping tile, whichever you're doing, the dirt is nice and crumbly, and this is why you would want to do it when it's a little drier as well, rather than having it when it's mud, and then you can easily backfill and tamp it down again. So a little bit of planning you need when you're trenching. Go in straight lines. If you want to do a curve or a 90-degree straight line, plan to turn and go another straight line, but you'll be much more successful that way. You don't want to jam the auger or the boom down into your hole. So the nice thing about this hydraulic machine is when you're running at full speed, you have full power. The engine is running a hydraulic pump, so the pump will be running the tracks and running your auger and everything. So that's why you got to be at full speed. You need full gallons per minute or full flow of your oil to make sure that you have the power to do your trenching. So to start this unit, you pull up your choke, start it. We'll do that shortly. Put your choke back down, let it warm up a bit, especially in the cool weather. This will be the throttle. or throttle up to full speed once it warms up, and always slow down your engine when you're in before you shut it off. This is a nice feature, this lever on top. As you see, it doesn't move right now, but once I pull up the dead man switch, it does move. And what that's for is not for using it for when you're actually doing your trenching, but if the auger starts jumping or anything and you're hitting a larger root, you're hitting a rock. And this brings up also a point, trenchers aren't meant to go through stone driveways. They're meant for the soil and the dirt area. Use an excavator or a different unit for going through stone packed, especially stone commercial packed driveways. And you get down into 2-inch stone. That's not what this size of machine is for. It's for soil trenching. But this auger, if you do get a big rock or anything pulled up, or maybe a big root stuck in your auger, you can reverse the chain and hopefully kick it out, rather than having to pry it out of your auger and your chain. What you'll end up doing here is, and you'll watch when I do it, but all this needs is one finger to start your chain working. One finger, hold that up while you pull up your clutch lever, and as you do that, when the trencher's running, your chain's going to start turning. Once your chain starts turning and you're in the position of where you want to start your trenching, you'll slowly put the boom down all the way to the depth that you want, and then you'll start moving yourself backwards. You'll never be trenching at the maximum speed in reverse. That's too fast. You'll be going a nice slow, easy pace. Fast is only for transporting the machine, and it's also only for transporting the machine in forward, because you don't trench in forward in any case. But the machine naturally operates traveling faster forward than it does reverse, because normally you're taking your machine in the forward position to your site to do your digging. So let's start it here. We'll show you quickly. So we're choking it. Okay, so that's the operation of this machine. There's a little more to it. Take your time and you'll have a real successful job. And don't forget to subscribe.